Hey everyone, welcome back to Food Overboard. Today we have a special guest with us and we will be talking to Mr. Carlo Cecchetto from Roma Catering. They are here to celebrate 50 years of being in our community in Calgary, Alberta, Canada with Roma Catering. And I'd like to introduce you to the CEO, the co-owner, the executive chef, the leader of Roma Catering, Mr. Carlo Cecchetto. Welcome, Carlo.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. It's nice to be here. That's quite an intro.
Well, you deserve one. 50 years in our community.
Yeah, 50
That's
years,
pretty
eh?
amazing. Wow. So tell us a little story about Roma Catering, how it all started, and just get us
well, Roma Catering started with two people, my parents, who met in Canada, but immigrated to Canada. And my father was a chef in Italy, and my mother just wanted to raise a family. My father's vision was to open a restaurant in Canada, but as he landed here, he had to pay back the airfare to his brother-in-law, so he had to go work for the city because it paid more money than the Palliser Hotel, because he did have a job lined up at the Palliser Hotel. But the Palliser was paying 60 cents an hour for a first cook, okay, and the city was paying $1.20. So, more money to pay his brother-in-law back. This is 1955. Shortly after that, my parents got married. And again, like I said, my father he stayed with the city of Calgary, the waterworks department, for 23 years. And never had another job, never thought about his dream, really. But I grew up, every Sunday our house was full of people. And my father would create these exotic dishes that would get my mother going too. And the ongoing battle, because he was from the northern Italy, she was from the south. The battle was always, the Calabrese cooking is better, it's more authentic. What do you Northern Italians know? And my dad would say, yeah, we taught you guys how to cook, anyway. And on and on. And like I said, I grew up with all these exotic dishes that at the time I did not like, I didn't appreciate. But now I've come to appreciate them because, of course, you get a little bit more of a defined palate. And I long for those days. One thing I don't long for is gnocchi, because we made so many gnocchi. Because everybody that would come over and say, Romano, you have to make gnocchi for us because we like your gnocchi. So I got really tired of making gnocchi. And I can't stand them.
So the restaurant.
Well, that's an homage to him. That's Romano's. It's one part of our company.
That's awesome.
Anyway, further to that, the same brother-in-law that brought him over and wanted him to be a cook and got him the job at the city, said to him, well, why don't you smarten up? It's been 23 years. Why don't you open your own restaurant? And he was going to lend him some money and everything. And then my dad said, well, I don't know. And anyway, he said, well, I'm going to try it. He started catering. We started catering. They started catering. My mother, in the meantime, worked at the Palliser. She worked at different restaurants. And she gained some experience in that. And so my father decided, okay, we're going to do some functions. So we started working at the church, the Italian church. And the very first function, the big function that Roma Catering did, were my father and my mother, and me too, but I was a kid. But I was still there, I had to help, right? Was for my uncle. He was going to university. And so I think it was an English or Italian language club, or some kind of club. And I'm sure he's here someplace and he could probably correct me on that. Anyway, they ran out of food. We didn't have enough food. So they had to go and buy Kentucky Fried Chicken to feed these students. And my father said, well, if this is catering, he looked at my mother, he goes, I don't want nothing to do with it. My mother said, I'm coming with you. And they left it at that. And we continued to cook Sundays, and still, everybody came out of the woodwork saying, you know what, the food was really good, you should do it again. And then some friends of his said, you know, why don't you cater this baptism, and why don't you cater this? And slowly, we started getting into the business, to a point where we started working really commercially at the Italian club. And that went on for quite some time. And then we moved over to OLPH Hall, which is another church hall. They kept with the churches and the clubs. I'm probably boring you to death, but anyway.
No, this is wonderful.
From there we went to a community center. We struck up a deal with the community center, and we were in full force doing all kinds of weddings. Then we started to do the Italian sportsman dinner. We started to do a lot of bigger functions. There was one time when on any given Saturday, there could be 900, 1,200 people in 3 different events, 3 different weddings, which was a lot of work, okay? But we divided ourselves. My mother would go to one, my dad would go to one, and I had to go to one myself because, but that was later on, of course. And so that's how I learned and how I was indoctrinated into the company. And from there, we kind of grew, and business was good. We started to develop a reputation. We started to get some customers that were, frequent. They liked Roma Catering. In '96, I struck a deal with Howard Silver for downtown, for the Metropolitan Center, and that opened up a whole new venue for us. Weddings, more weddings. Then later on came corporate catering, the same at the Metro. We went back into the Italian club, then opened up our own kitchen here, 6,000 square feet, which we're here right now. And that's about it.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah, well,
that's a lot of history behind that. Absolutely. So, what does Roma Catering or your business actually mean to you personally?
Well, to me, Roma Catering is all about family. It's a family. It's family run. It's run by people who I consider family. From the new hire dishwasher to somebody who's been with us for 20 years. I consider them all family. In one word, family.
Family. So, just to correct me, just to be on track here, Roma Catering is actually run by yourself and your 2 sisters as well, too?
Yes, yeah, I should have mentioned my sisters.
Yeah, and of some of your extended family members as well, like your children and some of your nieces and nephews are also helping out as well, too, right? In some
yes,
point.
It's a family business. Like, it's myself, my sisters, my 2 sisters, Angela and Lori, my son. Angela and Lori's my brother-in-laws, so there's a lot of family. Sometimes that's not a good thing, but for the most part, it's a great thing.
It is,
because when a brother and sister fight, or 2 brothers fight, okay, and there's a little bit of a misunderstanding. You always consider, you say, well, that's my sister or that's my brother. So you tend to forgive. Where if it was somebody else, you might not forgive so quickly.
Correct.
And then that's when the big problems start, right?
That's good. And it's great to hear that you treat every single staff member like family as well too, from your dishwashers all the way up to the head chef, and that's wonderful. And
well, I tried to. I mean, probably a lot of them think of me as, I tell them all the time, I say, you can say whatever you want when I leave.
Well, I don't know what Arthur's going to say right now.
Oh, I'm sure he's had a few expletives for me.
So what?
But that's okay.
So with your company, what were some of your biggest obstacles or struggles within the company itself? Whether was it the family, like you mentioned, but there's a lot of forgiveness in there. How about staffing and how about the clientele? Are they kind of a struggle sometimes?
Well, the clientele. Very simply, if we don't have clientele, if you don't have customers, you don't have business. We love all our clientele, maybe except for the gluten-free people We like you a little bit less, but we still love you. And the vegans and anybody who's got a list of allergies like this, please stay home. No, I'm kidding. Please come out. We will try to. That's not even a challenge. I mean, I'm just kidding, of course. The biggest challenge, again, is the economy. It's really the biggest challenge that we have, because you can't move forward if you can't create new business. You can't move forward if companies who've been dealing with you to have their corporate meetings, to have the ma and pa lunches. I mean Sunday dinners. Sometimes we cater Sunday dinners, and it becomes difficult if people don't have a job, right? I mean,
or even on a tight budget.
Exactly. If they're in a tight budget, exactly. So everything really stems to the economy. That's our biggest challenge. Staffing is a challenge in one sense, but if you look, you will find the right people. If you give people a chance, most people will flourish. Most people will fly if you let them. You have to get the right people. There's a lot of people out there with a passion for the food service, for food. A lot of people, they come and they see the glamour of it, which I don't see the glamour in it. But they're watching, Food Network, and they see the chef in the white coat with the hat, and he's giving orders. That comes with a lot of experience. That comes with a lot of work, a lot of working in the trenches. So a lot of people don't understand that. Some people don't understand that. Yeah. But the ones that get it, the ones that understand that only through hard work, dedication, and the love of food is going to get you there, that's the ones that will make it.
Amen. I agree. I totally agree. So what is the edge that Roma Catering has today to be able to grow and thrive for the last 50 years and maybe even another 50 years, hopefully?
The only edge that I can see or that I can tell you about is people. People you work. Our staff. From the head chef to the last hire dishwasher. Everybody brings something to the table. Our business is a business. The restaurant business or the catering business, the food business in general, it's about innovation. It's about hiring new people with new ideas. I mean, sure, McDonald's lasted a long time because they're serving, a few items and they do it relatively easy. But we're in a different market. We need to be cutting edge. We need to be new. And I think guided by the old folks like me, the old guys like me, and my wife and a lot of people, the young people can take from that. They can glean from that and present their own new ideas. And us as owners, we have to really embrace that. And we have to exploit, okay, maybe exploit is a harsh word, but, really we are exploiting. But somebody who wants to be exploited. Because through that exploitation, that allowing of work, you're going to fly. You started Roma Catering as a first cook, and you move up the scale, up the ladder, and maybe you've come to a point where you've learned everything you can with Roma Catering. You go on elsewhere. You go somewhere else, and you gain more experience until you've satisfied your own career needs. If that may be to work for your own restaurant, get your own catering company, or even to continue with a company, but having them understand that they need you. You know what I mean? Being invaluable.
Absolutely.
So, again, in one word, people, our people, the people that work with us.
Yeah, your team.
Our team, exactly.
And your
La Brigade.
Or family.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a little quick break here, and we'll be right back. So welcome back, guys. We're going to continue our interview and our conversation with Carlo here from Roma Catering. So, Carlo, when you're hiring people into your family, Okay, we'll start with cooks first because we are all lovers of food here. What do you look for in a cook?
Enthusiasm. Somebody who's really enthusiastic about food, who wants to learn. The skill level, well, depending on the job, of course, but the skill level doesn't really bother me. If there's somebody who's really enthusiastic and wants to learn, you can teach them. So what I look for is somebody who wants to do the job, who wants to be a cook, who loves food. For a cook, that's I think number one. And then, of course, having a little bit of skill helps. But like I said, we can teach that.
Skills can be taught.
If somebody's willing to learn.
Yeah, a good personality can never be taught.
Exactly.
That's usually
yeah, you can't.
Motto I always go.
And I always say, you can't teach common sense.
No. And if it's not common.
That's a big one. If somebody has common sense and is willing to learn, and has a joy of cooking, a joy of food, he's going to go far.
Absolutely, absolutely. What direction do you see Roma going? Say next 10 years, 20 years, maybe another 50 years from now? Where do you see that going right now?
Well, I think that we should continue on the path that we're on and see where the market takes us. Having a pulse on the market and understanding what's happening out there and what the market will bear. For example, 20 years ago, even 15 years ago, 80% of our business was banquets. We were doing mostly banquets, and a small percentage was drop-off catering, if you want, home delivery, office delivery, which has exploded in the last few years. I think that's where we should be focused on. Of course, you never forget banquets because banquets are always good. We've always done banquets. We always will do banquets, probably, to a lesser or more extent. But I think the future, it's really about what the market will bear, what the market tells you. You have to keep your ear to the ground and you have to listen. You have to listen to your customers. You have to listen to what's happening out there. The economy plays such a big role. When I got married, 150 years ago, a wedding probably cost $5,000. And that was for a big, splashy, And of course, we're going to scale it up and scale it down. But now, the weddings that we've seen, there's more focus and more emphasis on the decor, the destination wedding. The food takes a secondary seat to that. Which I'm not saying that, I disagree. I'm about food, right? We should have the food as being primary. And I understand that, if things evolve, that things change and people's attitudes change. But now you've come to a point where they're spending $30,000 on decor, and then they want to come to match the food should match the decor. For example, you want to have a Gatsby wedding, and we've done this. The white wedding, Gatsby, and they want the food to be 1930s or 40s or whatever it may be, but they want it very high end, which we are more than pleased to accommodate. But then they see the bill, they see the price, and they say, no, we can't do that, because we already spent $30,000 on decor. And then we have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, let's make it a little bit less, and we try to accommodate that. So again, it's what the market's going to bear, what people want, what's the trends, Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like you said before, you want to hire young blood.
Yes.
Coming in with very innovative, new ideas, and
exactly
to be keeping up with the Joneses with the market type thing.
Exactly, and that's what it's about. Because if you don't please the people if you don't please your customers, you can please all yourself and all you want, but
absolutely,
it ain't going to help.
Absolutely. So, what advice do you have for people who want to start a restaurant or even start a catering business?
Or get into the food business?
Or get into the food business.
Run.
Run.
No.
Run with it or run away from it?
Run away from it. No. If you have a true passion for food and you really love the restaurant, the food industry, serving people, then I would suggest don't just go open a restaurant, because a lot of people do. They've saved a little bit of money and they see a restaurant's gone under and they snap it up. And they get in there and they don't have a clue. And they say, this is a crazy work. This is, I have to work 18 hours a day. Go into a restaurant, get a job, get a dishwashing job. Get a cook's job if you can. See what's happening behind the scenes. Talk to chefs. Chefs are willing to talk to you. A lot of chefs will sit down with you and tell you exactly what it is. I love this job. I always have. It's basically the only thing I've done. Well, I did a little bit of concrete work, because I'm Italian. All of us Italians, that's a rite of passage, I think. But anyway.
Bury some bodies for the mob?
Well, no, we don't know. We don't talk about that. No. I totally don't agree to the existence of the mafia. Right. Anyway, if you love cooking, like I do, and you make it a career of it, you'll learn really quickly that it's a hard job. You're going to be working when everybody's off. If you don't love it, you're not going to do it for very long. But if you love it, you will get so much out of it. You will meet so many interesting people, because you'll meet people every day. You'll go to a restaurant and you will see somebody say, oh yeah, I was at your restaurant the other day and the food was great. On the other end of the spectrum, well, I was at your restaurant, and a waitress, but you're meeting people.
Absolutely.
Okay? And with the love of doing that and the people, I think it's about people. Like I said before, it's not about food, it's about people. So if you love people, you love making people happy, and you're in a situation where they're always happy, for the most part, right? You're going to love this career. That's what I would tell
So would you say one of the don'ts for this career is to want to make money?
Yeah, forget about that. You're not going to get rich. Some of us, of course, not me. Some of us, they go on to be corporate chefs. They go on TV, and a lot of them can't fry an egg, but I'm sorry. I apologize. They go on to celebrity status, of course. And there's a lot of chefs, of course, that are very successful with restaurant chains. And it's not fair to say you're not going to be rich, because rich is really a relative term. Okay? It's what you want out of it, what you take out of it, is that it will make you rich. But if you're looking to work 10 years and retire and go to the Bahamas, good luck. Unless you create some dish that people are going to go crazy for, or a brand new concept restaurant. Of course, it happens. But this is not a job that you're going to go after for money. This is a job of pure happiness, passion. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, for those also, who are passionate about having their own business, their own food industry business, how long would you say it takes the new owner, to kind of start seeing a balance of their paycheck, not their paycheck, but their income statements? Let's see, how long does it usually take? Granted, if stars lined up,
well, okay, of course, there's so many factors. There's so many variables that it's. If you're into the food business and you open up a hot dog stand, and you happen to be in a really crowded place, and you meet the people and you're just selling the best hot dog, and you're meeting a lot of people, well, that meets every criteria. And if you make a good living at it, there you go. I'm not condemning or saying that that's the way to go. I'm just saying that's one end of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to open up a French restaurant, Escoffier style, to say fine dining, you know, import everything, everything done a la minute, you know, last minute, and where you're really, really emphasizing on the quality of the food and the quality of the service. And it's a hit. 5 years,
Okay.
you know, you will see a big return on your investment. Those are the two extremes that, you know, a guy, anybody who opens up a hot dog stand in a busy place and makes $1,000 a day is going to be happy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, he can raise his family, he can do everything he wants, right? And he still might have that love for passion for hot dogs. The French chef with a brigade of cooks, and after 5 years, makes all kinds of money because he's attained the Michelin star, maybe 2 Michelin stars, and he's a celebrity chef. With that comes a whole line of what's behind it, because from going from the hot dog to the Michelin star restaurant, French restaurant, there's a lot.
Absolutely.
And with that comes a lot of sacrifice. So what I'm trying to say is, let's try to go in the middle. If you're trying to go in the middle and you're happy with what you're doing and you're content and you start to build up a clientele, money's going to come. The money for you to be happy will come. Believe me. You're doing what you want and you're focusing on servicing people and making people happy. Wow. And if you do that all the time, one of two things is going to happen. Either you just can't do it because you don't have the skill or the opportunity or the people or the place.
Or the stars not lined up.
Exactly, the stars don't line up, which in case you're going to close. And you'll go on your merry way and do something else or open something else. Or by doing that, you make the stars line up by themselves. You're constantly looking for better ways to improve.
Such as hiring good people.
Exactly. So, and it comes forward. And then one day you realize, say, wow, I have all the money I need. I do what I want. I go where I want. I have great people.
And you enjoy what you do.
And you enjoy what you're doing. Wow. And then everything clicked.
That's good.
So, anyway.
No, that's some great advice. Thank you so much. Any future plans with Roma Catering? Any expansion plans or a new concept?
Well, I wish I could say that we had some ideas for new concepts, but as of yet, a lot of ideas are just old ideas rehashed, which I'm liking. Future plans really is just to expand. We're looking at getting into a warehouse where we can build a bigger kitchen and just focusing on the market. And really, we have an eye to what's happening in Alberta. And you have to be cognizant of that. We have to understand that that's a big issue, right?
Yeah.
There's no use expanding if we're going to become the Maritimes. If we don't fix oil, I feel I'm afraid for my grandchildren and for my kids. Will Roma Catering survive? I don't really know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm telling you right now that if we don't fix oil in Alberta, that the economy gets fixed up, it's going to be a struggle.
So mainly, all in all, in the end, the economy does play a huge part with our industry.
Yes.
So yeah, our federal leaders and provincial leaders and mayors out there, our little mom and pop shops are suffering and having a hard time sustaining themselves in this economy. So please do keep in mind a lot of small businesses are actually struggling. So, but some are thriving, but you know what, most of them are actually struggling. So thank you, Carlo. We're going to take a little short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're back with Roma Catering's executive chef, leader, and CEO and co-owner, Carlo. So Carlo, who was your inspiration? Who was your mentor?
My wife. Well, actually, to some extent, of course, my wife. My biggest mentor was my father, my mother. They instilled in me a work ethic. They instilled in me the love of food, the love of people, the love of making people happy. Okay. My father loved to cook. He absolutely loved to cook. And he loved to joke around. And one thing he taught me, he says, don't take yourself so seriously. Have fun. That's what I learned from him.
So be a little goofy, pretty much.
Sometimes, why not, you know?
Yeah. With or without the booze.
Yeah, exactly, with or without the booze.
Absolutely.
Booze helps.
Booze helps.
Some friends of mine, you know, that are gone, inspired me. Just, you know, to name a few names, you know, like Ken Chow was a good friend of mine. Who else? Some instructors, Alfonso Morandi. And along the line, you know, a lot of people, even some people who you'd say have nothing to do with food service, but they show you a different outlook on life. Okay?
Okay.
That they show you a glimmer of what it is. Okay? And sometimes that could be the innocence of a child. That really teaches you, and maybe it humbles you, right? Mm-hmm. And it brings you down to a different level.
That's good.
So, yeah.
That's wonderful. No, that's great. That's great. I mean, we all meet different types of people. Like you said, it's all about people. You know, we meet different types of people in this world, old and young. And, you know, there's a reason for us to meet them, you know, just to bring us down, to be a little bit humble, and to be inspired, and to learn something from them.
And everybody has a purpose, and everybody has something to give.
Yes.
Even the most rotten person that you can't stand, he's got something to teach you. He's got something to give you. You know.
Wonderful. So, after a hard day's work, you're stressed out of your mind, you're heading home. What's your comfort food? What do you go to? Just to make you feel like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed.
Well, my wife won't let me eat before I go to bed. No. Okay. Pasta. Pasta is probably my comfort food. It is, of course, without a doubt. A nice pasta.
Any pasta or cream sauce, tomato sauce?
Particular pasta that I enjoy is orecchiette with rapini, and garlic and anchovy.
Nice and simple.
That is, or pasta aglio olio. I remember, you know, growing up, after banquets, you know, we'd work 18 hours, and my dad, you know, he'd go party with, you know, the people outside because he knew them. The wedding was over, bride and groom were gone, and we were just cleaning up. And my dad would say, "Come over to my house. We're gonna make pasta aglio olio." You know, pasta with garlic and oil. And you know how many times that happened? And a lot of times my mother would cuss my dad out. Why you bring? Never mind. You go to bed. Don't worry. And then, Carlo, okay, put the pot on. We'd make pasta, and they would drink wine and eat pasta. And those memories, man. I've done it myself. You know, friends, they'll call or something or whatever. I'll say, yeah, come over. It's 11:30. Yeah, come over. We're gonna make some pasta. Usually they say no because they don't want to be. Sometimes, you know, good friends say, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna come over. Come over. Of course, then my wife freaks out. Why? I said, never mind.
Go to bed.
Like that. You go to bed. Well, she doesn't. She just sits around and, you know, causes me grief. And then I'll hear her say later, oh yeah, you know, Carlo made pasta for these guys, you know, and it was really nice because they would start talking, and you know, we're there till 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not about the pasta.
It's about the people.
It's about the people.
Absolutely. So what is your favorite ingredient to use and to eat?
My favorite ingredient to use and to eat? Well, I have a little anecdote for you. If you can answer this question, and don't answer because now you know the answer.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe not my favorite ingredient. Well, I guess it is my favorite ingredient. Yes, it is my favorite ingredient. Because without this ingredient, you have nothing. There's no fine dining, there's no hot dog, there's no hamburger, there's no polenta. There's no risotto, there's nothing. Because without this ingredient, this one ingredient that is so important to all cooks, to all customers, to food in general, it's so important, nothing else matters. If you can tell me that ingredient, I'll pay you money. I think I got $1.43. The most important ingredient for us as cooks, as customers, as people who enjoy food, is hunger.
That's absolutely
You need
true.
hunger. You need to be hungry. Can you give pasta aglio olio to somebody who's not hungry? Well, they're going to say, "I'm sorry, thank you. Smells good, but I can't eat it because I'm full." So you're lost. You're dead in the water. But give me a hungry person, somebody who's not starving, hungry, and he comes into my house and he smells the aroma of something that you could, and right away that it gets him. He says, "I'm going to eat good today," because already your sensory, and that hunger just you salivate, right, and you start to even taste the food before you taste it. And then what can I say?
Anticipation,
The
excitement,
the anticipation, right? That's what brings hunger. Hunger brings to the table. So, and then when you finally satisfy that hunger, it's great, right?
Absolutely.
Because you're satiated. Whatever. Maybe I got the word wrong.
No, that is awesome. That's a great ingredient. Hunger.
Okay.
I like that. Well, Carlo, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Andrew.
I wish you and Roma all the best. Another 50 years, and congratulations. You know what? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Everyone, please like, share, comment. If you want to see Carlo make a few dishes for us, absolutely. Just let us know, and we would love to do a video of Carlo performing some of his wonderful creative dishes for us. Thank you, everyone. We will see you soon.